So devotees, all systems are in place for us to dive into the spiritual pond of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the desire of the family to let us focus on Bhagwan Sri Krishna. But being Navratra, I would like to also seek the blessings of Mahashakti. So we will go through a simple procedure. Firstly, we will perform invocation, glorifying Panchadevata. Then we will have the focus specially on Bhagwan Krishna, Devi Ma first and Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So I invite you to join me as we take part in a simple Kirtanam, where we seek the blessings of, as scriptures tell us, Bhagavad Mahapuran, on a daily basis, Panchadevata, 5 aspects of divinity we need to worship. Gajanan Swami, Devi Ma, Bhagwan Shankar, Vishnu Bhagwan, and Suraj Narayan Swami. I have mentioned time and again, there is a philosophical basis for this. The worship of Lord Ganesh unfolds within us Gyan, discriminative power. The worship of Devi, Mumukshutva, that intense longing, yearning to be in oneness with the divine. The worship of Bhagwan Shankar, Tyag, Vairagya, spiritual dispassion. Bhagwan Sri Satyanarayan, Satvik Prakriti as well as Satya, that which is beyond everything else. And Suraj Narayan Swami, the enlightened intellect. When we have these 5 factors existing within us, then we become truly spiritual. Otherwise, we may just be religious or otherwise not spiritual. Spirituality is something different from religiousness. And we must strive for spirituality more than religiousness. For we have many religious fanatics. We have very few spiritual people. This is what we must strive for, spirituality. So, ritualistically and through chanting, etc., we glorify these 5 aspects of divinity. But this is the philosophy that underlies it. I am trying to awaken these powers that exist inside of me. Notice what I am saying? The powers are in every one of us. We have to awaken them. So, through Kirtanam, we attempt to do that. Join me. He Ramba Hare Jai He Ramba Hare 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 Jai Durga Hare Jai Jai Durga Hare Jai Durga Hare Jai Jai Durga Hare Jai Durga Hare Jai Jai Durga Hare Jai Durga Hare Jai Jai Devi Hare Jai Shiva Hare Jai Jai Shiva 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 Hare Jai Vishnu Hare Jai Jai Vishnu 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 Hare Aditya Hare Jai Aditya Hare Aditya Hare Jai Aditya Hare. 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 Jai Rama Hare Jai Jai Krishna 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 Hare. तुझा पाकर यही नाम मन बाबरे. तुझा पाकर यही नाम मन बाबरे. जपा कर यही नाम मन बाबरे. जपा कर यही नाम मन बाबरे. जय राम हरे जय जय कृष्ण हरे. तो जपा कर यही नाम मन बाबरे. जय राम हरे जय जय कृष्ण हरे. तो जपा कर यही नाम मन बाबरे. बोले वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. Now devotees, we will concentrate on Devi Ma. Now devotees, I am going to recite what is called the Devi Kavach. Kavach means an armor, that which protects us. Now, we can take what we are going to do at different levels. Some believe that Durga Ma, Lakshmi Ma, Saraswati Ma, Kali Ma, Vaishnavi Ma, these Devis will come to protect us. That is okay. But what we have to understand, that all these Devis, philosophically, personification of energy that exists. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Everything. There is electromagnetic energy, electrical energy, heat, sound, light. There are different powers. Power of hunger, of thirst, of death, of sacrifice, wealth, poverty. All these different powers are personified as Devis. Durga Ma, Ichha Shakti, power of will. Lakshmi Ma, Gyan Shakti, power of wisdom. Saraswati Ma, Kriya Shakti, power of enlightened activity. Kali Ma, power of time. Man thinks in images. So in Hinduism, all these powers have been personified. And what is very instructive and very meaningful is that all these powers are in every one of us. Not that they are outside only. The Vedas have declared Yatha Pindi Tatha Brahmandi. I've been asking quite a few people in recent times if they have ever heard of holographic projections. Focus upon it. What is a holographic projection? Our scriptures are very, very much scientifically based. Yatha Pindi Tatha Brahmandi. The macrocosm, microcosm, identical. Except in size maybe. As in the microcosm, so in the macrocosm. So in other words, in all of us, all these powers exist. But they are dormant. Dormant, asleep. We need to awaken them. So when we chant the Kavach and these powerful stotras, the intent is to awaken the powers that exist inside of us. Some may believe that you're calling the power from somewhere else to come. I am saying no. You are trying to awaken the power that is inside of you, that is dormant. God is never far. Aham Brahmasmi. God is very, very close. He is an indweller. I keep saying we are far from Him. He is not far from us. We are the ones who push ourselves away because we are very extrovert. Everything is on the inside. Everything is on the inside, devotees. If you go inside
And by knowing the nature of one lump of clay, you can tell the nature of all the clay in the universe. Once you understand this, the human form, everything about it, you can understand the secrets of the universe. I've been asking a simple question. Sometimes when people's heart not functioning properly, they put in a pacemaker. What is that for? Not to create an electrical impulse. So that electrical impulse, electromagnetic, heat, sound, light, all these devis as such exist in the form of these energies inside of us. And when we tap into these energies, anything could happen. I've been trying to comfort some brains, I've been using Einstein's formula. Now, sometimes people say, well, there's a yug, we come to pray to God, but we ain't about all anything. This is the depth of Hinduism, devotees. E is equal to mc squared, we all know that, right? Energy is equal to the mass of an object by the speed of light squared. But I've been saying that is not the entire formula. mc squared divided by the square root of 1 minus v squared over c squared, where v is the velocity of each particle. Now analyze this formula. If the speed or the velocity of a particle increases to that of light, if v squared is equal to c squared, then v squared over c squared is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. The square root of 0 is 0. When I divide by 0, what do I get? Infinite. Infinite. In other words, anytime I can increase the rate of vibrations of the molecules in my body and let it approach that of light, I tap into infinite energy that exists. That is Shakti. That is Devi. There is what we call Newtonian medicine and vibrational medicine. Newtonian medicine, most of the world follow that, where we need certain drugs and so on, yes. But we are told, if you can understand this whole concept of vibrations, energy, you can do anything. And this is Devi. This is Shakti, as we call it. Power that exists in everybody. So I'm putting at different levels. You want to believe Durga Ma is here, Kali Ma is here, Kali Ma, Durga Ma one lives in Suhavi, no problem. That is, psychological gratification. But if you get to the depth of it, you will understand. What I am saying to you here cuts across all boundaries. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequency. And when we do these sutras, we actually increase the rate of vibrations in our bodies. We can actually heal ourselves. The purpose of this sutra, if you understand it, this Devi protect me here, that Devi protect me there, this Devi protect my blood, that Devi protect the marrow in my bones, this Devi, all these things, Saptadhatu, Devi protecting all aspects of my being. You tap into that energy. This is why this is very, very powerful. Second to none. Devi Kavach. So devotee is just in a nutshell. Now, I've always said we may not understand the workings of all these things like a motor car. You might not understand combustion and fuel injection and whatever else. But when you start your car, once you put the gas on, then you know the car working. So in other words, I'm asking you to start your car, meaning approach what you are doing. Put your mind on it. Once you start the vehicle, the processes begin. You don't have to worry about the processes. They happen no matter what. Follow me? But you have to start the car. You can't sit down and see the car shut down and go and expect to go somewhere. You have to start the car, meaning approach. You have to make that effort. If you sit lethargically, you ain't care, nothing happens. No process is taking place. Everything is inside of you. And this is why I keep saying everybody is on your own. One man can lead a horse to water, 100 can't make him drink. The horse has to want to drink. So I'm merely a facilitator, and you all decide where you want to go. So for a few moments, I want you to concentrate on Mahashakti, as we say, and try to feel the presence of that powerful energy inside each of us. Withdraw the mind from the outside. Focus on the inside. Feel the presence of Mata, as we say, that energy. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Sri Saraswatyaya Namah. Om Hrim Sim Chandikaya Namah. At Devya Kavacham. Om Asya Sri Chandikavachasya Brahma Rishihi. Anushtup Chandaha. Chamunda Devta. Anganya Sukta Maturu Bijam. दिग्बंध देवतास्तत्वम श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थे सप्तशती पाठांगत्वेन जपे विनियोगः। ओम नमश्चंदिकायै मार्कंडेय उवाचम्। ओम यद्गुह्यं परमं लोके सर्वरक्षाकरण्यनाम यन्न कस्यचिदाख्यातं तन्मे ब्रूहि पितामह। ब्रह्मवाच अस्य गुह्यतमं विप्र सर्वभूतोपकारकं देव्यास्तु कवचं पुण्यं तर्च्विनुष्व महामुने। प्रथमं शैलपुत्री च द्वितीयं ब्रह्मचारिणी तृतीयं चन्द्रघण्टेति कुष्माण्डेति चतुर्थकं पंचमं स्कन्दमातेति षष्ठं कात्यायनीति च सप्तमं कालरात्रीति महागौरीति चाष्टमं नवमं सिद्धिदात्री च नवदुर्गाः प्रकीर्तिताः। उक्तान्येतानि नामानि ब्रह्मणैव महात्मना अग्निना दह्यमानस्तु शत्रुमध्ये गतोरणे विषमे दुर्गमे चैव भयार्ताः शरणं गताः। न तेषां जायते किञ्चित् अशुभं रङ्सङ्कटे न पदं तस्य पश्यामि शोकदुःखभयं नहि। यैस्तु भक्त्या स्मिता नूनं तेषां वृद्धिः प्रजायते ये त्वां स्मरन्ति देवेशि रक्षसि तान् न संशयः। प्रेतसंस्था तु चामुण्डा वाराही महिषासना ऐन्द्रिगजसमारुद्धा वैष्णवी गरुडासना माहेश्वरी वृखारूढ़ा कौमारी शिखिवाहना लक्ष्मी पद्मासना देवी पद्महस्ता हरिप्रिया श्वेतरूपधरा देवी ईश्वरी वृषवाहना ब्राह्मी हंस समारुद्धा सर्वाभरणभूषिता। एत्येता मातरः सर्वाः सर्वयोगसमन्विताः नानाभरणशोभाढ्या नानारत्नोपशोभिताः। दृश्यन्ते रथमारूढ़ा देव्यः क्रोधसमाकुलाः शङ्खं चक्रं गदां शक्तिं हलं च मुसुरायुधं खेटकं तुमरं चैव परशुं पाशमेव च कुन्तायुधं त्रिशूलं च शार्ङ्गम् आयुध उत्तमं दैत्यानां देहनाशाय भक्तानां भयाय च धारयन्त्यायुधानीतं देवानां च हिताय वै। नमस्तेस्तु महारौद्रे महाघोरपराक्रमे महाबले महोत्साहे महाभयविनाशिनी। त्राहि मां देवी दोषपरीक्षे शत्रूणां भयवर्धिनी प्राच्यां रक्षतु माम् ऐन्द्री आग्नेयामग्निदेवता दक्षिणेव तु वाराहि नैऋत्यं खङ्गधारिणीं प्रतीशां वारुणे रक्षेत् वायव्यां मृगवाहिनीम् उदीचां पातु कौमारीं ऐशान्यां शूरधारिणीं ऊर्ध्वं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षेत् अधस्ताद् वैष्णवी तथा एवं दश दिशो रक्षेत् चामुण्डा शववाहना। जया मे चाग्रतः पातु विजया पातु पृष्ठतः अजता वाम पार्श्वे तु दक्षिणे चापराजिता शिखा मुद्योतिनि रक्षेत् उमा मूर्ध्नि व्यवस्थिता मालाधारे ललाटे च भुरौ रक्षेत् यशस्विनीं त्रिनेत्र च भुवोर्मध्ये यमघण्टा च नासिके शङ्खिनी चक्षुषोर्मध्ये श्रोतयोर्द्वारवासिनी कपोलौ कालिका रक्षेत् कर्णमूले तु शाङ्करी नासिकायां सुगन्धा च उत्तरौष्ठेत चर्चिका अधरे चामृकला जिह्वायां च सरस्वती दन्तान् रक्षतु कौमारी कण्ठदेषु तु चण्डिका घण्टिकां चित्रघण्टा च महामाया च तालुके कामाक्षि च मुखं रक्षेत् वाचं मे सर्वमङ्गला ग्रीवायां भद्रकाली च पृष्ठभंशे धनुर्धरी नीलग्रीवा बहि कण्ठे नलिकां नलकूबरी स्कन्धयोः खङ्खिनी रक्षेत् बाहुनि वज्रधारिणी हस्तयोर्दण्डिनी रक्षेत् अम्बिका चाङ्गुलीषु च नखाङ्क्षुलेश्वरी रक्षेत् कुक्षौ रक्षेत् कुलेश्वरीं स्तनौ रक्षेत् महादेवी मनः शोकविनाशिनी हृदये ललिता देवी उदरे शूलधारिणी नाभौ च कामिनी रक्षेत् गुह्यं गुह्येश्वरी तथा पूतना कामिका मेध्रं गुदे महेशवाहिनी कट्यां भगवतीं रक्षेत् जाह्नवी विन्ध्यवासिनी जङ्घे महाबला रक्षेत् सर्वकामप्रदायिनी गोल्फयोर्नागसिंही च पादपृष्ठे तु तैजसी पादाङ्गुलीषु सी रक्षेत् पादाधस्थलवासिनीं नखाङ्द्रंष्टा कराली च केशांश्चैर्ऊर्ध्वकेशिनी रोमकूपेषु कौबेरी त्वचं वागीश्वरी तथा रक्तमज्जा वसामासानि अस्थिमेदांसि पार्वती अन्तरानिकाय रात्रश्च पित्तं च मुकुटेश्वरी परमावती पद्मकोशे कपिचूड़ामनिष्ठतां ज्वालामुखी नखज्वालामभेद्या सर्वसन्धिषु शुक्रं ब्रह्माणि मे रक्षे छायां क्षत्रेश्वरी तथा अहंकारुं मनोबुद्धिं रक्षिर्मे धर्मधारिणी प्राणापानो तथा व्यानम् उदानं च समानकं वचहस्ता च मे रक्षे प्राणं कल्याणशोभना रसे रूपे च गन्धे च शब्दे स्पर्शे च योगिनीं सत्वं रजस्तमश्चैव रक्षे नारायणी सदा आयु रक्षतु वाराहि धर्मं रक्षतु वैष्णवी यशः कीर्तिं च लक्ष्मीं च धनं विद्यां च चक्रिणीं गोत्रमिन्द्राणि मे रक्षेत् पशून् मे रक्ष चण्डिके पुत्रान् रक्षे महालक्ष्मीर् भार्यां रक्षतु भैरवी पन्थानं सुपथा रक्षेन् मार्गक्षेम करी तथा राजद्वारि महालक्ष्मीर् विजया सर्वतः स्थितः रक्षाहीनं तु यत्स्थानं वर्जितं कवचेन तु तत्सर्वं रक्ष मे देवी जयन्ती पापनाशिनी परमेकं न गच्छेतु यदि शुभम् आत्मनः कवचेनावृतो नित्यं यत्र यत्रैव गच्छति तत्र तत्रार्थलाभश्च विजयः सार्वकामिकः यं यं चिन्तयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति निश्चितं परम ऐश्वर्यम् अतुलं प्राप्स्यते भूतले पुमां निर्भयो जायते मर्त्यः संग्रामेषु पराजितः त्रैलोक्ये तु भवेत् पूज्यः कवचेनावृतः पुमाम् इदं तु देव्यः कवचं देवानामपि दुर्लभं यः पठे प्रयतो नित्यं त्रिसन्ध्यं सधयान्वितः दैवी कला भवेत् तस्य त्रैलोक्येषु अपराजितः जीवेर्वर्षशतं सागरम् अपमृत्युविवर्जितः नश्यन्ति व्याधयः सर्वे लूता विस्फोटकादयः स्थावरं जङ्गमं चैव कृतिमञ्चापि यद्विषम् अभिचाराणि सर्वाणि मन्त्रयन्त्राणि भूतले भूचरः खेचराश्चैव जलजाष्ठोपदेशिकाः सहजा कुलजा माला दाकिनी शाकिनी तथा अन्तरिक्षचराघोरा दाकिन्यश्च महाबलाः ग्रहभूतपिशाचाश्च यक्षगन्धर्वराक्षसाः ब्रह्मराक्षसवेतालाः कुष्माण्डा भैरवादयः नश्यन्ति दर्शनात् तस्य कवचे हृदि संस्थिते मानोन्नतिर्भवेद् राज्ञस्तेजोवृद्धिकरं परं यशसा वर्धते सोऽपि कीर्तिमण्डितभूतले जपे सप्तशतीं चण्डीं कृत्वा तु कवचं पुरा यावद्भूमण्डलं धत्ते सशैलवनकाननं तावत्तिष्ठति मेदिन्यां सन्धितिः पुत्रपौत्रिकी देहान्ते परमं स्थानं यस्सुरैरपि दुर्लभं प्राप्नोति पुरुषो नित्यं महामायाप्रसादतः लभते परमं रूपं शिवेन सह मोदते ॐ तत्सत् जयन्ती मङ्गलाकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोऽस्तुते जय त्वं देवी चामुण्डे जय भूतार्तिहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः। बोलिए श्री आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की। Devotees, we try to visualize Bhagwan Shri Krishna. We do Bal Charit a little bit, an activity, an incident, Bhagwan Shri Krishna in that village of Vraj. But we must remember that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is that infinite, Nirgun Brahm, Nisagun state, God without attributes, becoming conditioned Brahm, God with attributes. Try to visualize that Leela Purushottam, Bal, not a baby. Krishna Bhagwan maybe 6-7 years if so old. Let's all bring voices together as we glorify Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Gopala Radha Lola Murali Lola Nandalala Gopala Radha Lola Gopala Radha Lola Murali Lola Nandalala बनमाला वृंदावन गोपाल बनमाला वृंदावन बाला मुरली लोला नंदलाला मुरली लोला नंदलाला मुरली लोला राधा लोला मुरली लोला आनंद मोहन निरंजन आनंद मोहन निरंजन बनमाला वृंदावन बाला मनमाला वृंदावन गोपाल मुरली लोला राधा लोला Devotees, Sri Sukhdev ji, the son of Ved Vyas ji, way back in the past on the bank of the Ganga, relating Bhagavad Katha to Raja Parikshit, who was given a shrap. In 7 days' time he would die. So I can't go into that Katha. We are focusing on this presentation of Sri Sukhdev ji to Raja Parikshit. Different Kathas were explained to Raja Parikshit, who was in a state of ecstasy. He was not satiated. And we must remember, in Sri Ramcharitamanas, when Bhagwan Sri Ram asked Valmiki Muni to indicate a spot for him to reside, Valmiki enunciated 13 different conditions, one of which simply this: O Lord, all the rivers and streams flow to the ocean. The ocean never overflows. So too, that ocean has an infinite capacity for holding water. All your kathas are like rivers and streams. And the individual's heirs, the capacity for listening. The more they listen, the more they want to listen. They never satiated. That person's heart is a pure spot. Reside there, O Lord. One of the characteristics of a devotee is that he or she has this yearning, a relentless urge, a craving, a greed to listen to the glories of the Lord. Raja Parikshit was in this condition. No matter what he heard, he wanted to hear more. Now devotees, when I make these statements, it is not just to talk about Raja Parikshit, but it is to get us to try to look into a spiritual mirror. Something I keep saying, before we left home, all of us would have looked into the mirror to make sure that we were looking good physically. Everybody looking good. Very handsome and very beautiful. But when you come to the yajna, I hold up before you what I term to be a spiritual mirror in which I dare you to look at your insides. I dare you to look at your insides. Meaning what? You see what I just said? If you are satiated on hearing Sri Ram's Katha, Krishen's Katha, you're missing something. So you have to analyze yourselves. How do I fit into this? This is what I mean by looking into the mirror. The more you listen, the more you want to listen. The craving is here for Hari Katha, not old talk. That is a characteristic of a devotee of God. So devotees, this is why I'm saying it. I'm not speaking of Raja Parikshit. I'm reflecting his attitude so we can all see and measure where we are at. So devotees, Raja Parikshit never fed up and he's asking again and again. So now Sri Sukdev Ji is continuing to relate. And this particular episode, he's saying, Hey Rajan, यमुना जी को काली नाग को विष से दुखित देकर श्री कृष्ण भगवान ने जल को शुद्ध करने के अर्थ उस काली नाग को दह से निकाल दिया। राजा परीक्षित ने पूछा, हे ब्राह्मण, श्री कृष्ण भगवान ने गंभीर जल के बीच घुसकर उस सर्प को पकड़ा और वह सर्प बहुत काल से वहां किस कारण रहता था? यह वृतांत यथार्थ वर्णन कीजिए। See, Sukdev Ji had mentioned that in the river Yamuna, there was a special pond that went by the name of Kalindi. And in this pond there lived the deadly king cobra. Very, very poisonous. Bhagavan Sri Krishna had this intention of purifying that pond. Why? Because everybody was blaming the pond. Not blaming Kaliya Nagi, you know how people are. You don't look at the cause, you blame the effect. Or what you see, what you perceive to be. The pond was poisoned, but who poisoned or what poisoned the pond? So everybody condemned the pond. Nobody condemned Kaliya Naga. So Kaliya Naga was getting a bad name. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna proved to all of us, as is stated by a poet that died many years ago, English poet Shakespeare, he who steals from me my purse steals trash. But he who steals from me my good name steals everything. Your name is important. And people should grudgingly protect your name, defend your name. Bhagavan Sri Krishna also wanted to defend that name of that pond, Kalini. So his intent was to drive Kaliya Naga out of that pond. When Raja Parikshit heard this, he was a bit agitated. He said, Oh Holy One, that very, very deep water, that snake with his family lived there. Bhagwan dived into that pond. How long did he stay beneath that pond? What happened there? What was the outcome? Please explain to me. I really would like to listen to this episode of Kaliya Naga and Bhagwan Sri Krishna. How did Bhagwan Sri Krishna get Kaliya out of that pond? Shri Sukdev Ji बोले, यमुना जी में काली नाग का एक कुंड था जिसमें उस नाग के विक की अग्नि से जल खौलता रहता था और उसके ऊपर आकाश में उड़ने वाली पक्षी विक के ताप से संतप्त होकर जल में गिर पड़ते थे और उस विक वाले जल की लहरों से जलकणों से मिली हुई जो पवन बहती थी उसके लगने से तट के वृक्ष और घास सूख जाती थी। जो जीव उस कुंड के समीप भूल कर चले जाते तो उस विषैली जल की तरंग से जलकर तड़प तड़प कर मर जाते थे। इस कारण प्रचंड वेग वाला विखी जिसका पराक्रम ऐसे काली नाग को देख और उसे दुखित हुई यमुना नदी को और दृष्टि करके श्री कृष्ण भगवान अपने सखाओं के साथ विहार करते करते कोंच बांध कसकर बहुत ऊंचे कदम के वृक्ष पर चढ़ उस विक वाले कुंड में कूद पड़े। Devotees, Sri Sukdev Ji is saying, this pond in the river Yamuna, Kalindi, this deadly serpent, Kali, black serpent, the king cobra lived there. So deadly was so delivers fumes. Birds flying, aerial creatures flying over that pond, come into contact with the fumes, they will die immediately. When the breeze will blow, those fumes go out to the vegetation all around. They died everywhere. It was brown, burnt up because of the deadly fumes of that Kalyanad poison. If a human being or animal by mistake go near to that pond to drink that water, that will be terrible and instant, deadly. So many would have lost their lives. Because of all this, Bhagavan Sri Krishna decided the purpose of his manifestations to remove the burdens of the earth, all the evils, all the negativities. So this was one. He said, I must purify this pond, otherwise a lot of innocent lives would be lost. So devotees, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his friends, their main job every day would be to carry the cows, to tend to the cows, to graze the cows into the forest. Now, they were cautioned time and again, do not go in the direction of Kalindi. Don't go there. Now we all know, boys will be boys. You tell a boy, don't go there, he goes to show you, I could go. But many boys just hardened. Bhagavan Krishna wasn't hardened. Bhagavan Krishna had a purpose. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, going with his friends, they began to play with a ball. Damaji, a friend of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he had the ball, so throwing the ball, catching the ball, playing. And while playing, you tend to forget where you are. Bhagavan never forget where he is because he's everywhere. What he did, he led them in the direction of Kalindi Pond. They unknowingly, playing. Then they realized, hey, but by the Kalindi. But Bhagavan on purpose, what he did, while playing with the ball, he threw it into the Kalindi Pond, into the poisonous pond. Now his friend Damaji began to jostle Krishna Bhagavan. Krishna, get my ball. Now most of us will not understand that kind of poverty like long time. Eh? When you see you get a ball, long time you have a ball. You're the king in the village, If you have a bat and a ball, and if all the balls come together, I had the bat first. I had the ball first. When I finish bat and ball, I take my bat and ball and go home. Yeah. Now if you lose that ball, man, you cry. Now, we pass you that. So we could tell you, that kind of poverty, So Damaji, but we must understand in these circumstances, Bhagavan is the juggler, and we are all puppets. We dance according to his tune. So Damaji, under the influence of Bhagavan himself, right, to create a circumstance, and remember this, nature conspires to put factors in place to help us as we go through life. I want you to remember this statement that I am making. Once you're doing the right things in life, nature conspires to put all the factors, this is how I put it. Things fall in place so that things will work out for you positively. But you have to be doing the right things. Now Bhagavan devotees, here the factors are falling into place. Damaji began to jostle Krishna, get my ball, get my ball. The friend was saying, Damaji, how do you expect Krishna to go into the pond? Damaji doesn't want to hear anything. I want my ball, I want my ball. Then Bhagavan said, Damaji, I'll get your ball. And what he did, do something dhoti and tight around his waist. And there's a kadam tree on the bank of this pond. That kadam tree shone of all its leaves, standing there in all its nakedness. Bhagavan climbed right to the top. His friend was saying, Krishna, Kanhaiya, don't go. Kanhaiya went right to the top and he dived into that pond to get the ball. This is what they thought. But Kanhaiya danced in there to have a ball. It's a different kind of game he was playing. Kanhaiya dived into that pond. उस समय भगवान के कूदने के वेग के काली दह का जल ऊपर को बहुत उछला और भी अधिक तरंग उछलने लगी। यमुना जी का जल चारों ओर से सौ धनुष फैल गया। हे राजन, महाबलवान श्री कृष्ण भगवान जब जल में लीला करने लगे तब उनकी भुजा रूप दंडों से पीड़ित जल का शब्द सुनकर अपने घर का विनाश समझकर उसको सहन न करता हुआ कालीनाग दौड़ा आया और श्री कृष्ण पर अत्यंत कोप करके मर्म स्थानों में दसने के अर्थ दौड़कर अपने शरीर से उनके लपेट दिया. Devotees, that impact of Bhagwan Sri Krishna's body on the surface of the pond. Well, you know, water is here and is a medium sound could travel. That sound went right to the bottom of the pond, where Kalyana sleeping, nice fat snake, lazy, with his family. But when he heard that noise, he woke up something disturbed. The landscape was, something interfered with it. Something was different. When Kalyana stood up, so, what is this? Somebody is trespassing. Now, devotees, I try to bring out how sometimes people behave now. So, Palani wife sleeping and he hears somebody knocking the door, somebody breaking the door. He tell his wife, what's he there? Well? Who outside it? Kalyana tell Nagini, go see her. Nagini said, well, you want me to see you, the man in the house? You go. Now, this thing has happened in society. Now, this didn't really happen here. I created something. I'll create something in my own head. Right. Kalyana devotees decided that he must now find out who is this, who dared to step into his home. And from the depths of that pond, he glided right up and he burst to the surface of that water. Yeah? An initial reaction, devotees, when he saw Krishna, as all before him and all after him, he was spellbound. Initial. The form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is the Lord. So the initial reaction, spellbound. But then he was the abode of poison. So his nature overpowered him. And this is an important thing to pay attention to. Sometimes we meet people, initial good, and all of a sudden the nature overpower them. You see the animal in them come out. The same person you're talking to? Yes. But this is the true nature. You see? So Kalyana's nature overpowered him, the poison. And he made some effort on it. He grabbed at Krishna. In his hand, once he grabbed him with his hands, he coiled himself around Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And he tightened his coils. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna remained there. As if he was dead. Now the friends on the outside, they were all shocked. Look what is happening. And now they have seen Kalyana. They say Kalyana had 101 heads. He's a hooded serpent. Black and very poisonous, as we say, deadly poison. Bhagavan Sri Krishna perfectly still, as if he was dead. Devotees. Now here, what happened in the village earlier, they were getting bad signs. Now everybody gets signs, but sometimes we don't pay attention to these signs. The left side in the men palpitating. The right side in the women palpitating. So left side for men not good. Right side for men good. Right side for women not good. Left side good. Generally speaking. Right? So the earth was kind of quaking. Stars pitching in daylight. Different signs they were seeing. How to understand this? They knew that something bad was about to happen. Now this particular day, Bhagavan Sri Krishna went with his friends. Balaram, his elder brother, did not go with him. So now everybody was worried in the village. Balaram didn't go with Krishna. What is happening here? And then, well, we know what happened. One of the boys came running back into the village. Quickly, come quickly. Look, Bhagavan Krishna has gone into the Kalindi pond. Devotees. So they all knew what trouble now, disaster. So those, farmers, whatever, they pick up a little stick and whatever, cutlass or something, and all of them rushed towards that Kalindi pond. When they reached to the Kalindi pond, devotees, what they saw? Bhagavan Sri Krishna perfectly still in the coils of the serpent. And the cows, some sitting down there staring, tears flowing from their eyes, like they were lost. Many of the friends of Kanhaiya, they fainted away. It was a real disastrous situation. One that, how to describe this, is one that nobody wanted to meet up at all. Something bad happened, and they feel this is the end of it all. This was how they felt. Yashoda Maya, mother is totally different, devotees. Mother gave us life. When Mata Yashoda saw this serpent wrapped around Kanhaiya, she wanted to jump into the pond to fight with the serpent. She wanted to protect her son. This is how mothers behave. They held her back because they said, "Oh, Yashoda, you can't go. We can't lose two of you. Stay here." And devotees, it is said at that point in time, all our relationships, everybody, we have different relationships with different people. So how I may feel if something happened to you, I may not feel the same way if something happened to somebody else. It all depends on the nature of the relationship. So there, you have to understand Bhagwan was divine. The cows, they saw Bhagwan as Gopal, their protector. The friends, they saw Bhagwan as friend, Sankhya Bhav. So in other words, what I'm trying to put to you, the kind of relationship you could have with God. Right? This Katha many of us have heard time and again. So we're looking at one or two different points. We have to establish a relationship with God. If I were to ask you, who is God to you? What would you tell me? God? We don't know who God is. Man is gregarious by nature. We understand relationships. So Hinduism has given us different types of relationships. Sankhya Bhav, friendship. So with God, God can be my friend. Yeah? Madhurya Bhav, God can be my beloved, like Mirabai and the gopis. God can be my master. I am a servant, like Surdas, Kabir Das. Right? God can be my child. Very few have the privilege. Yashoda Maya, she had that privilege. The devotee becomes a parent, God becomes the child. That's a rare circumstance. These are different types of relationships, devotees, we can have with God. God can be mother, father, I'm a child. Now the question is, you have to ask yourself, who is God to you? And I always say this, if you have not yet defined a relationship with God, I am bold enough and brave enough to say, you are praying by guess. You're just going through motions. You see, the relationship establishes the behavioral pattern, the code of conduct. If I know who you are to me, I know how to talk to you. And prayer is supposed to come from your heart based upon a relationship. If there is no relationship, how are you praying? You're just saying words? Just patke, swinging arati, putting flowers here, putting flowers. You're going to get some crumbs from the bread for that. But if you really want to find that Lord, establish a relationship. And you take one step towards God, you say He takes 100 steps towards you. He doesn't establish a relationship, We have to establish it. And it has to be based upon our own temperament. So simple. I have all my respect for mother and father. For me, God is mother and father. I know what friend is. Right? All the other kind of relationships. Some people they may not be able to identify with parents, but with a friend. That pathway is for you. Some may not be able to identify with a friend, but with a beloved. That pathway is for you. And Bhagavad Mahapuran tells us, there is advesha, vidvesh, bhakti, devotion through confrontation. If you can't love, or you could hate intensely, then that is also the pathway to God. Ravan, Kans, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they hated that divine with a passion, that day and night they thought of him. Now, the 18th chapter of the Gita says, Bhagavan says, think of me constantly. How many of us think of God constantly? Even when we slung the poor, we don't think of Him constantly. We all know that. And we say we are devotees. Yeah? And we condemn Ravan. We condemn Kans. But these, day and night, they were thinking of that Lord. And I keep saying, if you love someone intensely, that person is in your mind day and night. If you hate someone intensely, that person is in your mind day and night. As a man thinketh, so he becometh. So this is the whole idea, devotees, with respect to God. Not just doing things, Doing things good. That's why Bhagavan Sri Krishna Gita says, Patram pushpam palam toyam. Flower, fruit, japa, water, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Bhagavan is hungry here, thirsty. Your attitude is important. Attitude is important to help us to find that Lord. So devotees, here we see born out in this circumstance a display of the emotions based upon different relationships that these devotees had with God. Bhagavan Krishna, friend, son, beloved, and devotees, they all had their grief in their own way, which they expressed. I just want to reflect upon the Madhurya Bhav. The gopis, devotees, they were in a state of distress. And you know, when we hear someone has died, memories come flooding to the mind, and then we say, you know what? No more. No more. Devotees, each person in their own way, different ways they express their emotions. One thing was common. Everybody in deep grief because of separation from Kanhaiya. Well, was Kanhaiya dead? Now devotees, I didn't sing any song with the cow because I don't know any cow song. The human beings, I can tell you how they felt. Yeah. But the cows, I really wouldn't know. So all around, but devotees, as I said, Bhagavan doesn't die. Bhagavan cannot die. When Bhagavan manifests, is to destroy evil forces. But why was he doing all this? And time and again, I keep mentioning this, that we are tested. We are tested. Now, why are we tested? You know, was SCA, and I'm sure many students, many teachers know all who are going to pass, who wouldn't pass. And teachers know that. Right through all our school years, teachers, and they know who will pass, who will not. Why then do they test us? God knows everything. Why does He test us? So I've been asking this question for years, devotees. I say, God, you know I'll go fail. Why are you testing me? But then, one day, the understanding came to my mind. How do I know you will fail, but do you know you will fail? What the point I'm trying to make is, I know what the result will be. Do you know? In other words, what I am saying, the tests are for us, not for God. For us to understand where we are at, where our limitations lie, where we are transgressing. We are the ones who have to know that. And tests will help us to know. You do a test, you fail. Where did you fail? How did you fail? Why did you fail? You have to analyze all of it in yourself. So always remember that this is why we are tested. We are tested so we can measure ourselves. Use as a barometer where we have reached. Are we elevating at all? And if you fail the test, then you have to correct it. So devotees, Bhagavan testing his devotees, so they will have to now determine how much they depend upon Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And here, beyond any shadow of a doubt, in mind, word and deed, everyone was dependent upon Krishna. Everyone. When they realized that life is nothing without Krishna, that realization dawned upon them. They had like no future, like nothing at all. You know, then devotees, Bhagavan said, I think my devotees have understood what I am to them. Not that Bhagavan is ego here. It's for them, you see, then you appreciate in a better sense these people who, or that loved one, that beloved one, who, you know, you thought you have lost, the person come back. This would happen to many people already, you know. You know, some families sick, bad. Well, sometimes in the family, people are glad that they die and go. Right? And I tell that sometimes, you know, a lady come to me one time, she say, Guruji, my mother is sick, I'm waiting for she to dead to go for holiday. Why? I don't know when, she taken long. So you see, sometimes in the family itself, some of them glad for you to go. Yeah? All kind of people it have. Yeah? But in this case, devotees, someone near, and you know, the person escapes, comes back, you tend to have a different kind of bonding with that person. The relationship tends to be strengthened. Analyze it closely and see. So devotee, Bhagavan realized that this is good. The devotees understood what, you know, the importance of my presence in their life. Their dependence upon me. They have proved it beyond any shadow of a doubt. And then Bhagavan said, all right, now it's time to end the scale. But at the same time, he was giving Kalyanag that opportunity to swell up his ego a bit more. Krishen, you come my pond, here I hold you, you can't even move. So you see, here's another action here, the negative one. He feels that he's very big and strong, nobody like me. Look, I have Krishen under control. So he has to learn a lesson also. For he was being tested also. Yeah? You change your ways, you're going to continue with your very, very bad habits. negative qualities. Then Bhagavan said, my devotees have understood, let me teach them a lesson now. And it appeared to Kalyanag that Bhagavan started to grow in size. He felt his coils, Kalyanag, being stretched, and if he didn't release, he might have been burst to pieces. He released Krishna Bhagavan, and then both of them began to swim around in the water, each one trying to gain ascendancy over the other. And at an opportune moment, Bhagavan was, like the eagle playing with the snake. You could eat the snake anytime. Bhagavan playing with the snake. And at an opportune moment, Bhagavan jumped upon his head. And they said, Bhagavan started to dance upon Kalyanag head, dancing upon his head. Dancing that snake into submission. Dancing that snake into submission. Devotees, let me summarize it. This is just very nicely tell us.
अरे बाहरों से कन्हैया काली, अरे दह पर खेलन आयो रे। बाहरों से कन्हैया काली, हे दह पर खेलन आयो रे। बाहरों से कन्हैया काली, हे दह पर खेलन आयो रे। काहे के पट गेंद बनी है, काहे के पट गेंद बनी है, काहे के दंदा लहयो रे, आहा काहे के दंदा लहयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, दह पर खेलन आयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, रेशम के पट गेंद बनी है, रेशम के पट गेंद बनी है। चंदन गंगा लहयो रे, ओह चंदन गंगा लहयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, हृदय पर खेलन आयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, मारे गेंद गेंद कई कहमे, मारे गेंद गेंद कई कहमे। गेंद के संगा धायो रे, ओह गेंद के संगा धायो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, हृदय पर खेलन आयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, मारे गेंद गेंद कई कहमे, मारे गेंद गेंद कई कहमे। गेंद के संगा धायो रे, आहा गेंद के संगा धायो रे। बारों से सोय नाग जागे न दिया, सोय नाग जागे न दिया। बूथ पकड़ के लहयो रे, आहा बूथ पकड़ के लहयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, हृदय पर खेलन आयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, सूर श्याम प्रभु आश चरण की, सूर श्याम प्रभु आश चरण की। गुरु चरण चित लहयो रे, आहा गुरु चरण चित लहयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, हृदय पर खेलन आयो रे। बारों से कन्हैया काली, हृदय पर खेलन आयो। Devotees, Bhagavan danced that snake into submission. Then, playing upon the barsuri, standing on one foot, dancing, rumajhum nacho Gopal. When the mother, the cowherd says, even the cows happen to hear the barsuri. Is it imagination or is it real? When they looked, they saw Bhagavan Sri Krishna dancing. Gopal, Gopal, nacho Gopal, dancing. They came back to life. Look what is happening. But he's still there with Kalyanag. Anything could happen.
When Kalyanag was danced into submission, devotees, everybody, they felt, they breathed a sigh of relief. Kalyanag has been defeated. Now, remember I said that Kalyanag had a family. They say where you have a Nag, you must have a Nagin. When you have Nag and Nagin, you have Naglet. Yeah. So the whole snake family there. Now, sometimes it happens in life, the man playing bargaining and go and get beat up, and the wife had to come and beg for him. And that happens in today's world. Yeah. So the Nagin, she put the children in front. And plenty people use children, because feel sorry for children. She put the children in front of her and she came behind. And she decided to pray. Join both hands together and close her eyes and pray. And many years ago I always say this. Once when I was reading Bhagavad Katha, some of my brothers, not Panagyanyu, he wasn't at them, but I don't know if he laughed all too. They say, snake have hand, boy? How snake will join their hand and pray? But you have to understand that the Nagas happen to be a race that can assume human form at will. They assume human form and live amongst human beings as human beings. This is why I keep saying, you can't tell. Somebody next to you could be a Nag. Or you could have the Nag walking by your foot. Watch it and see. Yeah. So devotees, Nagas are race. So they assumed human form. And they clasped their hands and begged for the life of Kalyanag. Begging Bhagwan Krishen. And Bhagwan Krishen said, I shall spare his life but on one condition. He has to leave this pond and go. And Kalyanag, he assumed the form and said, Bhagwan, you know why I came into this pond in the first place? Garud, who happened to be your vehicle. They say Lord Vishnu rides on Garud, the eagle. Garud was eating all snakes. So, to hide and to protect my family, I came into this pond. To escape Garud. Now if I were to leave here and go, O Lord, what will happen to me? Then Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, don't worry, Kalyanag. I dance on your head. My footprint is on your head. And once my footprint is on your head, Garud would not eat you. You are safe. And so, Kalyanag transformed. He got it done first, then transformed. Power in the feet of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And the whole snake family, they left that pond and they're gone. So whenever we see a snake family moving from one place to another, let them go now. Let them go. They're going, migrating, who don't know? Maybe they see Bhagavan Krishna. Yeah? And devotees, they went away and that pond became purified, clear. Bhagavan removed the stain and the stigma attached to that pond. And everybody rejoiced. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, look what he did. Now devotees, that is a nice story. And if we had more time, we could have done it a little more in detail. But I don't want to go too late, no matter how nice something is. Later I'll get indigestion. So, let me just put it into a perspective. Because every one of our scriptures teach us lessons. And every episode has meaning. So let's put it simply. Try to be with me. Yamuna is the stream of karma, activity. Ganga is the stream of devotion. Saraswati is the subterranean stream of knowledge. Now, within the Jamuna, there is the pond Kalindi. That is the pond of the mind. And Kalyanag, the black serpent, is the ego. I. Now, how many people do think, I do this, I do that? It's what I want. It's not what anybody else wants. Now check around and you will see this is very common in society. A lot of egoists. They care about nothing otherwise. Now Kalya had 100 heads. So devotee, that black serpent, 100 heads, what it means? From ego, you have all the negativities. Hate, anger, lust, greed, rivalry, jealousy, everything. Host of negativities. And what happens? When there's that ego, you poison the pond of the mind. That Kalindi pond is poisoned. Anybody who is very self-centered, only for yourself. You can't care about anybody else. So you poison others also. Bhagwan doesn't want that. Now, you notice I say the stream of karma. So you act in such a way where you believe you are God's gift to mankind. Nobody could do it like you. I have news for you, If you don't do it, somebody could do better than you. But this ego inside of us, that is Kaliya, that is the black serpent. Now we need to have Krishen Bhagwan dance on his head. Spirituality is the key to help us to overcome. Now if you notice, Bhagwan didn't kill the ego. He didn't kill the snake. If you kill the ego, you do exist. He transformed it. The same concept with Shiva, with the snake about his neck. Shiva is the cosmic ego. The serpent is the individual ego. But Bhagwan is Nagabhusham. That serpent has become an adornment on the body of the Lord. We must transform this individual ego to be a jewel on the cosmic ego. Transform the attitude. Now let me explain what I mean here. A person who is egoistic, you act with what is called rag and dvesh. There are 5 mental afflictions. Now what I put into you in 5 minutes here, that's a whole night discourse. Try to retain it. There are 5 mental afflictions. The first one is agyan, ignorance. The second one should be ego, asmita. So agyan, asmita, rag, dvesh, and abhinivesh, fear of death. These are 5 mental afflictions we all suffer from. The last 4 are all evolutes of the first. Ignorance is the root cause of all our problems. So from ignorance, ego, I. So anybody very egoistic, drowning in ignorance, agyan. And when you're in that way, how do you act? Rag and dvesh. I like this, I act. I don't like that, I ain't doing it. And fear of death. You're afraid to be criticized. You resent criticism. Check it out. Now, people must analyze themselves, I can tell you many people in public life right now behave like this. Very egoistic, very self-centered. Don't criticize them. You can't correct them. They know everything. Yeah? Now this is what Kalyanag is all about. But Bhagwan transformed him. And he said, Garud would not eat you. Now Garud is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. Garud has the 2 wings and the tail. So rather than act with rag and dvesh, you have vivek and vairagya, discriminative power and dispassion. So if you act with these 2 and you propel by the tail of bhakti, then Vishnu Bhagwan comes. So in other words, Kalyanag, when he transformed, this is how a person who is transformed will act. You're not acting for self-gratification, self-aggrandizement. You're acting to please the Lord. You act with discriminative power, with a sense of dispassion and bhakti, heart. It's a question of attitude that we need to have. See what the Katha is telling us, Alright? So, for us to go forward in life, we need to be, for Bhagwan Krishen to be in our life, so to speak, we need to have this kind of attitude. Easy to say in the devotees. Somebody will say, no, me have no ego. Don't lie, man. Everybody have ego. That's how you control it. Right? And I'm saying in society it's so very prevalent. This creates so many problems in society, in organizations, in the country, in the home. This ego, self-centered, my way, or no way. I alone know it. That is not good. So devotees, Bhagwan transforms. And the only way we can be free is very true, this, as we say, divine consciousness, spirituality. So when we hear Kalyanag, all the dancing and thing nice and everything nice, but understand what it means. As we go through our daily activities, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mame Kam Sharam Braja. Bhagwan Krishen says in the Gita, you're entitled to the action but not to the fruits thereof. Forget about all that, just do what you have to do. Act with a sense of vivek and vairagya, act with bhakti. Avoid rag and dvesh, because when you act like that, you put yourself in bondage. And many people suffering today because of that. Ignorance, ego. I want to do this, I'm not getting the recognition, I vex with everybody. Across the whole world. I vex with the whole world, because I ain't getting the recognition. I always say, do the right things in life, what is for you will come. But why have to have this kind of attitude? You see? So this is what the Katha is projecting to us. We need to purify the pond of the mind. In that Yamuna, in the stream of the action, act properly, act wisely. Remember, we are merely instruments. The Lord is the important being. Everything is for His will. Nothing happens otherwise. We who think we act, our karmas will bind us. Transform. Transform. Anytime you transform that ego, you act without a sense of ego, no karmas bind you, you're free. So this is essentially what this Katha is all about in a nutshell. In a nutshell, devotees. Okay? So, as I said, these stories, we all know it. We like the versions and things, but the essence. We must understand what the essence of the Katha is and live it. Otherwise, what is the purpose of it? Right? So, once we surrender, make the effort and say, oh Lord, you in charge, you take care. I am just an instrument. Play through me. Can't go wrong. Purify the pond of the mind. Gole Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki